Okay, we are live on Facebook. Folks, we are celebrating the life of our brother, Franklyn Richards, aka SUPADEX. Well, I'd like to call on Mr. Augustus to give us the opening prayer.
Let us pray. We come with mixed emotions as a family, oh God. Our hearts are broken. We are celebrating the life, the ministry, and the service of our late beloved Franklyn SUPADEX Richards. Guide the proceedings tonight. Be with his family and be with all our friends here in the Caribbean and in the diaspora, we pray. Let everything meet heaven's approval, we ask, in this celebration service. In Jesus' name, amen.
Welcome, everybody. Giving some folks the time to get on the Zoom, get on the Facebook page, and we will get started.
Redeemed through his infinite mercy, his child and forever I am.
Welcome, Facebook.
Redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Redeemed, his child and forever I am.
Tonight we are celebrating the life
In Jesus,
of a young man,
which my rapture can tell.
SUPADEX.
Oh, that is light of his mercy with me continuously dwell. I am redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Redeemed, his child and forever I am.
We got the boys are in the house,
Rock of it.
gonna pay their tribute tonight.
Just clap for me. Let me hide
To the one,
myself in thee.
SUPADEX.
Let the water and the blood from thy wounded side which
Just gonna give a couple of minutes
me
for the folks on the Zoom to join.
the dove
The folks on Facebook to join.
safe from wrath and make me
We are also live on Positive Radio 106.9, positiveradio.com,
great.
as we celebrate the life
When mine eyes
of this young man,
shall close in death,
well respected
when I soar
SUPADEX.
to the world alone, see thee on thy judgment throne, rock of ages, just clap for me. Let me hide myself in thee.
We're gonna hear all the tributes. For those of you who don't know this young man, tonight you will. SUPADEX.
I will sing the one just story of the Christ who died for me. How he led his
going to get the tribute started
just stole
at 10 minutes after 8.
the cry
Cheryl Ann will call on you.
for me.
Remember to unmute your microphone.
It will
And when you're done speaking, please mute your mic.
in glory gathered by the crystal sea.
As we celebrate SUPADEX,
Glorious freedom, wonderful freedom, no more in chains of sin I repine. Jesus the glorious emancipator, now and forever.
welcome to Facebook.
He shall be mine.
Welcome to the Zoom.
Glorious freedom, wonderful freedom,
Share the link.
no more in chains of sin I repine. No, no, Jesus the glorious emancipator, now and forever, he shall be mine. 'Cause I'm sitting at the feet of Jesus. Where can mortal be more blessed? There I live, my sin, my sorrow, and when weary I find rest. Sitting at the feet of Jesus, there to weep and pray.
All right, I'd like to turn it over to Cheryl Ann. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Good night, everyone. We're here to show our love and respect for someone that is so dear to us in this community. It's been a mighty shock to all of us. I think most people are still trying to figure out if this is even real. And so we just gathered together as a community in love to show support and solidarity for each other, and for the people who love SUPADEX the most. In terms of protocol, we do have the Counselor General who is with us. I see him on camera. He has not raised his hand, but I think protocol would suggest that we should ask him to offer the first tribute. And then for anyone thereafter, please just put yourself on camera and use the raise hand feature. And as I see you, I will acknowledge you and ask you to offer your tribute. So, CJ Prince.
Yeah, Sherilyn, thanks very much. Good night, everyone. We are met tonight in circumstances that we prefer not to be meeting, to celebrate the life of our brother, Franklyn SUPADEX Richards. I know that everybody would prefer that we're upbeat and that our words be of a positive and a joyful nature. But it can't not be said that it is a very sad occasion. So while we mourn the passing of the brother, we try to celebrate, remember the life that is lived. SUPADEX, as I remember him, I just want to say three short things about the man that I remember. I'm sure that there'll be lots of fill-in from a lot of other persons. First of all, I know him to be a man with a sense of humor. If you know the man, you know once you're in conversation with him, you're likely to get a joke or two, and that the conversation is likely to be light and humorous. I remember that about SUPADEX. I'm reminded of his sense of fashion. None of us can say that anybody in New York can outdress SUPADEX. Somebody said to me yesterday, I wonder who's going to inherit SUPADEX's wardrobe. And I said, whoever gets SUPADEX's wardrobe gets a rich chest of clothing to skank out into. I remember SUPADEX for his organizational work. Since I came here as Council General in New York, I've known him to be involved in a whole host of organizations here on the ground. Vinci Cares, Friends of Sign Hill, Dynamite College of 10, just to name a few. Cosago and all its work that it has done in the past. SVG Relief Inc., by whatever name it was called before. Whenever SUPADEX is called out, whenever we call out people and we look for volunteers, SUPADEX always shows up and is there among the crowd, always ready to give a helping hand. I also want to commend some of his skills. He was one of the better graphic artists that I know. When I came in New York, every flyer that we produced in the early part of my sojourn here were produced by SUPADEX. You just have to call on the man, and within a few days, you have your flyer, and your outreach is on the go, and looks good, top class, top notch work. I know that
being on a date in a museum at night is
on behalf of the Consulate General of the
you have the whole museum to yourself, which is pretty cool.
On behalf of Ambassador
Absolutely. All right.
Ambassador King and the staff, we extend our hearty condolences to the immediate relatives, friends, and associates of our brother who was gone too soon. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Do we have any volunteers to go next? Otherwise, I will do this in good teacher fashion and call on folks. So I think I'm seeing Webston. Webston, you can unmute.
Hello, good night, everybody. Good night, Sherilyn.
Good night, good night.
I just want to pay my tributes to my friend and brother, SUPADEX. I share also the sentiments expressed by Consul General Prince, because when I worked there as Consul General myself, I had a great relationship with SUPADEX. SUPADEX was just about everywhere, in every organization, giving his hand and help wherever he can. He formed part of a very vibrant Vincentian diaspora, the kind of person who you can call on. I met SUPADEX about 2 weeks ago when I went to do some business down in Arlersville. I heard a voice behind me and I said, that is SUPADEX. When I turned on there, he said he is doing some business and he's back in St. Vincent for good and he will do what he can and we're going to keep in touch. To my surprise, a couple of days later, I got this call. SUPADEX got an accident and died. I said, that couldn't be true. That has to be a rumor. And the person said, yes, that is true. SUPADEX is dead. It was a shock, a real shock. I want to commend those who organized this session where we can pay tribute to the brother. SUPADEX was a wonderful human being. The kind of a person who would always be there to help you and give you a hand. He would never say no. He would do what he can to advance the cause of Vincentians in the diaspora and at home. And that is why I believe he was involved in all these organizations. somebody said gone too soon, and I share that sentiment. Gone too soon. It leaves a void in many of us, and we have lost quite a few people in the diaspora over the years since I left there. I want to offer strongest condolences to his relatives, to his children who are left behind, and we'll all mourn his loss. SUPADEX, my brother, may your soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you. That was our former CG Selman Walters. I didn't make you out because the name said Webster iPhone, but I recognized you as soon as you started to speak.
Well, Webster is my first name, Cheryl, and I don't normally use it. Selman is my second name.
Ah, okay.
All right, have a good one. Yes.
Thank you. Any other volunteers? So I see, I had seen the president.
Yes, Sister Sherian.
Yes. Brother Augustus, yes.
I think it would be appropriate for me to follow.
Yes.
Our present CG and former CG to express my condolences as well. SUPADEX, as the both CGs have said, were very involved during our time when we served at the consulate. For me, he was one of the groomsmen in my wedding. He and my brother, who is known as Lawrence, affectionately called Spaceman, are best of friends. Every morning I send a devotional to SUPADEX, and he would respond by saying, "Thank you, my comrade brother." When I got the news like everyone else, the morning from Brother Gans and my brother, I was shocked to my bones. So the mantra continues, gone too soon. He indeed was a good soul, involved in nation building, in homelands in Vincent and the Grenadines, and by extension, deeply involved in the development of the diaspora as well. I take this opportunity to extend my deepest condolences and sympathy to the family members, his children, his siblings, his parents. Today, talking with a few artists across the islands who heard the news and somehow contacted me to find out if this is true, they too are mourning. And I'm talking about artists in the musical world. I tried to reach my comrade brother Luther and Ezzy because I know that they were close while the SUPADEX were back at home. I take this time as a comrade brother to say to the family members and all of the acquaintances in the diaspora and at home, weeping endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. The Lord give it, and the Lord take it. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So as we celebrate his life, his ministry, and his service when he was alive, let us do so with a sense of hope and confidence that one of these days, all of these things will be over. Until then, my dear brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, my comrades, may SUPADEX soul rest in peace. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I see Luther on camera. I'm not sure if you would like to at this time offer your own tribute. I know this is very difficult for you. So the mic is yours if you are ready.
Yes. So there was particularly a very tough day as we had to go to the mortuary, where they did the post-mortem today. I would like to speak about SUPADEX when he returned home because there's so much to say about him. while encountering SUPADEX in the diaspora, but let me speak about home. SUPADEX returned home with a vision, a dream that he is going to enjoy St. Vincent. One of the things the man said to me is that he don't even want to go back to America on a vacation. That is to tell you how much SUPADEX just wanted to be back home in St. Vincent. So he came home and he set out on his plan. And his plan was to set up his business and just live, just enjoy St. Vincent, and just pave a way for himself, his friends, and especially his children. Now, I was really close to SUPADEX, myself and Essie, who is even closer to SUPADEX than I am because of their sojourn, their time in school and what's not. And I think somebody need to go on mute. Yes, and many times that we would go, you will take the time out to just come and hang out at my home or wherever. We just hang out. But I can tell you that he was a man that worked from Sunday to Sunday, day and night. So many times I had to beg this guy, yo, take a break. Let's go out and just hang out and just have a good time. SUPADEX came home and he started setting up his business, which were apartments. So he bought 2 buildings, 2 properties, and he started working, trying to get them in order. And Sunday, we had a hang at my home on Sunday. And as he reached out to him and let him know that we'll be hanging on Sunday, as we normally do. And he did not show up on Sunday. So by Tuesday, I called SUPADEX. Just, normally we speak, ever so often, 4 or 5 times per week. But I called him on Tuesday. And the first thing he said to me, he said, boy, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to come to the Lime on Sunday, but I had a real terrible migraine. It was so terrible that I just had to lie down. It was impossible for me to come out and hang. And then he went into our usual conversation, because every single time me and SUPADEX talk, every single time we hook up, 2 conversation that must be had is, yo, Luther, you need to change your diet. Start eating healthy. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop eating meat in general, no flesh. Stop drinking milk. Stop using sugar. Stop using salt. And, we had this conversation over and over and over. And I will push back because I spend my entire life eating meat. And St. Vincent is a place where we don't have a lot of vegetarian restaurant and vegan this and vegan that. So it's pretty difficult to unless you're Rasta and you're accustomed to that life. That was never my life. I grew up all my life eating meat. And he would always say to me, we are the only animals that drink milk after you're born and wean, always. And I would say to him that we must be the only one, because the other animals are not as smart and intelligent as we are. So we know how to preserve milk. We know how to, do whatsoever with milk. That's why. And we know the benefits and the nutritional value of milk. That's why we are still drinking milk. So we have all these conversations. And the other conversation that, we would have every time is that, Luther, we must pool our resources together and do some sort of business. Many a times you would call me and say, boy, I see a piece of land here. See a building there. Let's go check it out. See if we can rent it. Let's come together. He have links with getting appliances and furniture and whatsoever. Open vegan vegetable restaurant, vegan restaurant, and you name it. So let me fast forward now to Saturday. Approximately 6:45 in the evening, I got a call from Ezzy, which is normal. We talk all the time. And Ezzy said, Luther, I don't know how to tell you this. And I can hear this solemnity in his voice. This was not easy. I said, something terrible happened, but I didn't know what it is. So I said, "We're going on, bro?" So he told me he was heading to a meeting. He got a puncture tire. And he turned back and he headed home. He took his time and head home. He said, as soon as he parked at his house, he got a call. Someone called Ezzy and told Ezzy that SUPADEX fell off his house in Stubbs and died. I said, "No, this ain't songwriter." I said, "No, that can't be." I said, "No, that can't be." He said, "But Luther, I can't move because my car tire puncture, come and get me." At that time, I was about to get ready to pick up my daughter from a function. You know, I forget all about that. I pull on some clothes and I run and I grab Ezzy. Well, after I bawl my eyes out, because I start bawling, you know, that's the only thing I could have done at the time to really get the grief out. Although at that moment, I still didn't want to believe that my friend is gone. Anyway, I head out, pick up Ezzy, and we start. I sped, you know, out to Stubbs. When we got there at the house, the only people we met there were the police and the tenants, because the house have 2 sets of tenants downstairs. So which means we got there pretty early, you know, not too long after this thing happened. And when I went to the back of the house and, you know, saw my brother on the ground, you know, I couldn't help it. I broke down because this man just wanted to enjoy his life. And one thing he said to me on last Tuesday when we spoke is that, "Luther, I am just finishing up these apartments and then I am going to take a break, a long break, and just enjoy, you know, Vincent." We spent up until midnight, you know, at his home. We saw everything. We saw the body. We saw when the doctor came, when they turned him over, when, you know, when the funeral home came and took his body, and we just stayed there and we talk and we secure his house. You know, as he got a security guard to come there and, you know, look after the house, you know, because we had to leave. And I can tell you guys that the outpouring I've seen on social media the next day is it just blew me away. Although I know the man, he was my personal friend and brother. I was totally shocked because I haven't seen that in ages. I've seen that somewhat for Soca Jones. It was a lot for Soca Jones as well. But SUPADEX, I don't know. One comment that stood out in my mind on social media under one of my posts is a young lady who said that, "But I don't know this man. But what I am seeing on social media brought tears to my eyes." So can you imagine that the outpouring of grief and love for a man, that someone who doesn't even know him, they were brought to tears? That is just to tell you the magnitude of the human being that we would have lost. I have lost a dear friend. I have lost a brother. I've lost someone who was a great inspiration to me because he was leading me along the right path to choose a healthy lifestyle, to become more business-minded, and he was willing to use his resources to make that happen. You know, he cannot be replaced. And I have some good friends around me, you know, Ezzy, Rodney, Small, you know, I have some really good people around me. But SUPADEX is going to be missed. I am going to miss that guy so much. I've not cried this much in a long time. I cried Saturday, Sunday, Monday, cried silently today as well. You know, but I am staying strong. And I would like to say that we, the ones who are left behind, let us preserve his legacy. You know, let us name some, you know, have something in the name of SUPADEX, that his name will never die. His legacy will never die. Condolences, all you guys, condolences to his kids and family members, you know, condolences to Ezzy. Ezzy is a very close brethren and has been struggling a lot, quite a lot. So, just be there. We just be there for Ezzy, and he's been there for us as well. So, Alan Doyle, I like to thank you so much for putting on this Zoom so that, I can just express myself, because I just need to get it out. I am grieving. I've been crying, trying to cry out all the grief, but pain just don't disappear like that, but I'll be strong. We'll get through this. We all will get through this. We'll get over this, because I was talking to a brethren in New York, Lyndon Seals, and someone said to him recently, never hold on to death. Don't ever hold on to death. You just have to let go. It's life. We don't understand it. We can't explain it, but we just need to let go. So guys, thank you. That's my piece.
Thank you, Luther. Really appreciate your heartfelt comments. We know that must have been really difficult for you. And just to say, I was talking to another friend of SUPADEX earlier, and I was saying to him, energy never dies, it transforms. So, SUPADEX, he was into that level of spirituality. He's going to be around, and, the memories, he's going to live on in the memories. And as you said, we need to make sure that we do something concrete so that his legacy goes on. Is there anyone else? Otherwise, I would like to call on Kaba, who is the president of the Calypsonians Association. Kaba, are you in a position to speak? Or would someone else like to go? You can just raise your hand. Kaba? You need to unmute.
Good evening. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Yes. Good evening, friends of SUPADEX. First of all, let me thank Mr. Doyle and the other person who sent this invitation to me. As you may recognize from my voice is not my normal voice. And the reason is obvious. I was not as close as Luther and especially Ezzy to SUPADEX, but was close enough for his passing to wreck me emotionally. Our friendship, our brotherhood was strengthened when he became very close friends with Glenroy Phillips, aka Gobels, another stalwart in the New York diaspora. And as I said in two tributes last night, the persons I know you were closest to, I personally know, like I said Luther already and Ezzy, about my brother Fafa and Gobels. My niece even indicated to me that she went on his timeline, and at least 6% of the photograph was between him and Gobels. I know this is about SUPADEX. I just want to paint a picture. Gobels, I was at Chill Spot having a meeting with the proprietor. Our grammar school alumni were going to have a function, so I was there. And his wife laughed. My phone came and she looked at me. And then she glanced at Lance and said, in very hushed tones, this guy SUPADEX fell off his roof in Prospect and he died. And I was there with from Securities and some other persons. And I dropped my phone and I said, oh God. And I started crying, and then he said to me, that is expected. And I found that to be callous, and I kept on crying. And I tried to compose myself. And I just couldn't. I cried, I walked from that place, straight home, blinded with emotion, nothing else. I just decided to walk and walk and walk. When I came back home, I said, how this thing hit me so? I just had a grandmother who died. I just had a cousin. Why did most of them died? And it didn't hit me like that. And I said to myself, this man will be special. And SUPADEX was special. SUPADEX was selfless. SUPADEX was a national treasure. SUPADEX was a patriot. SUPADEX was a humanitarian. He was a loyal brother and friend. who always went beyond the call of duty to help others. As far as he was concerned, one of his purposes here was to help humanity. See what he can do by using his own sources. He always had ideas. He was full of vision. And this man was an African brother who was well grounded. And the spirituality, he believed in it. We had, the CDC had two documentaries the last 2 days of October, October 30th and October 31st. And SUPADEX, Ezzy, Rodney, Small, the chairman, and about 3 other persons went by the chairman. We organized a watch party to look at the second one, Essence. Of course, Luther appeared in both of them, in the documentaries. And we were there, and because of our association with Sign Hill, Friends of Sign Hill, the Sign Hill community, he and I sat next to each other. And as usual, in his upbeat self, he was telling about the plans that he had. And not the thing that he said to me, because he introduced me as the president of the Seminary Scholars Association. And I think we all know that he was also the president of the Dynamite College tent, which is the only tent outside of the Caribbean in North America. Only college tent. And he said to me, brother, I'm coming back in the arena next year now. I wanted to suggest a tent for me to join. I already have songs penned and so on. We spoke, I recommended several things, I asked him to do his own homework. And he was so, and he went on, you know what happened? You know? We need to organize. In these COVID times, college still has been blatantly conspicuously absent. We need to organize a college show. Because we can do this with our resources, with our brain power. So yes, we'll meet, I identified for the persons, I could sit down and plan. Randy Small as one of them, then us Bowman and some others. So we could plan this thing and get it going. Because this man was a perennial optimist. He always believed that things can happen. No pessimism in this man, no part of it, this man born nothing. Always looking straight ahead, always looking pretty positive. I don't know many persons, no, but you, I can call you this Sherilyn because you're one of us. And you know, on Monday nights, we have a program called Calypso College. It is hosted by internet radio called Sweet Radio, and the host is lawyer Stephen Huggins. I would normally call him the chancellor. And the program was going on, he played a song for Scorcher. And I said, and I got it, normally all the traffic come to, most of the traffic come to my Facebook page. Because I will dedicate the program to individuals every Monday night. And I said, this Scorcher tune is a top shelf tune. And he responded and said, yes, bro. Scorcher top shelf tune for sure. That was our last interaction on Facebook. When I looked at it, I started to cry again. Last night, I decided to, it was obvious. I mean, it go without saying, I dedicated last night college program in honor of his memory. And we have a chat room, and you could feel how it affected the collegians, because that's what we call ourselves. Collegians. But make no mistake, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has lost a national treasure. We were richer for having Franklyn Dexter Richards, aka SUPADEX, amongst us. And we are the poor for his transitioning. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to his children. We owe it to his memory to continue to ensure that his rich and positive legacy lives on. I, for certain, make this vow in front of all you, wherever my voice is being heard, that I will do what I can to ensure that SUPADEX I'm not just saying legacy. I'm qualifying it. Rich and positive legacy. It can be intangible, it can be tangible, but we can do it. If we don't, we would have failed this man. Because words are easy to utter. Very easy. And as Vincent, we are known to talk the talk. When it comes to walk the walk, a lot of us are left, we say. Let us honor his legacy by walking the walk. To Gobels, to Fafa, to Ezzy, to Luther, to his other close friends who I do not know, to his family, his children, his mom, I extend my most sincere and deepest condolences. I too mourn the loss of a national treasure, of a patriot, of a selfless man, of a humanitarian, of a man grounded in Africa. As he often says, anytime somebody pass on or transition, safe journey to the ancestors, SUPADEX. I promise you, I will do everything within my powers to ensure your rich and positive legacy lives on. May God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Kappa. Alan, I know you have some of the guys from Dynamites in the studio with you. Any of them wanting to share anything at this time, or should I just go to this?
I want to play a song by SUPADEX. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
All right. Want to, listeners together, take a listen to one of his songs. It's called All Are We, of Vinci.
Spiritual intervention for we nation. Polarization has got its way. This unity among Vinci is now the order of the day. This one ULP, that one NDP. While poor people suffering every day, trust in the Almighty. Together we can succeed with unity, cause all that we have in sin.
Celebrating the life. Franklyn Richards. SUPADEX.
In agriculture, almost no banana. It's time Vincentians go back to the land. Dwelling tourism, nobody traveling. We need more diversification. So with education, improve moral condition. Let's put together a master plan. Look out for each other. Be our brother's keeper. Spread love and unity throughout this land. We survived the last of rare eruption and countless hurricanes. But in Haruna, this blessed island, one thing we know remains the same. From the Grenadines country to Leeward, all that we have in sea. Together is the one way we'll go forward. All that we have in sea. No matter what's your position financially, once you could contribute positively, together we can succeed with unity, cause all that we have in sea.
All are we of Vinci. Oh, yeah, the man himself, SUPADEX. All right, folks, you're going to hear from the man himself, Mr. Dennis Bowman.
Yeah, well, I am still in a state of shock, you know. And just to think that, you know, a few days ago we were right here in the studio, you know, putting a project together. And, you know, SUPADEX was right alongside us. And just a few hours before it actually happened, SUPADEX sent through his greeting, you know. We were here putting the stuff together, and you know, before I reach home, I got a call from Tom. So Tom said, "Dennis boy, is it true?" So I said, "True. What are you talking about?" He said, "Call me, because to be honest, I am sure Tom didn't believe what he was hearing, you know." And, you know, Tom told me on the phone, and I said, "Well, boy, I don't know. I ain't hear nothing yet. Let me call home. Let me call Lennox, because I'm sure Lennox would have heard something if it was true."
We've lost the song. We're not hearing Dennis.
He's speaking.
Yeah. Okay.
But kind of like running down. Yeah. So yeah, Lennox called me back in a few minutes and told me, "Boy, Dennis, Ezzy is on the spot right now, and you know, trust me, it is a fact. SUPADEX gone." Yeah. It ain't easy, but you know, SUPADEX was a true friend of mine. I mean, anytime you speak to, and I'm sure the other guys could vouch for this, that SUPADEX, you speak to SUPADEX, you must learn something. And I guess that's why, I don't know how many of you know, but SUPADEX was a teacher. After he left St. Martin's School, I think he taught for a few years, you know, before he migrated to the States. You know. And trust me, SUPADEX will be missed tremendously. SUPADEX, I don't know, man. SUPADEX, when I started doing karaoke, SUPADEX was the man that did my business cards. He has done so much for so many people, not just Vincentian, but throughout the Caribbean, you know. And it's not just Vincentians. Gonna miss this guy. SUPADEX. Rest in peace, brother. I'm gonna pass the microphone over to probably the president, you know, and to all his family, friends, you know. My condolences to you. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
Dennis.
pass the mic over to Rejector.
You gotta look at that camera.
Let me say good night to everybody on Zoom. Thank you for being here, joining us in tribute to our great friend and brother, SUPADEX. Tom, I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to pay tribute to a great Vincentian. We want to thank Cherry for sending us the songs, very quickly. Thank everyone who helped this to be a reality tonight. Excuse me. Franklyn SUPADEX is my very good friend. We go out a long, long way back. But, there are many things I could say for SUPADEX, which everyone would have said tonight. But to speak about SUPADEX, I would just say, he was always a man who loved progress. He's never satisfied that things were still the same. SUPADEX joined the Dynamite Calypso tent. And even before he became a member of the tent, he was encouraging us to do different things, try different things, try to move the tent forward in many other ways other than ways which we were going then. He became president, and immediately upon becoming president, SUPADEX put a lot of stuff into motion to try to take the tent into other directions. And, the tent, it was going places, but he had some opposition. He tried his best. He did well. And I think, he would be missed in the the Dynamite Calypso tent for that spirit. He was also multi-talented, as we know. SUPADEX is the one who would do all our flyers. We just had to tell him what we want, and the flyers would be ready in no time. Our T-shirts, Brother Gans wearing one of the most recent shirts that SUPADEX did for us. We just have to tell him what we want. And SUPADEX would produce, exactly what we want, and even better than what we were thinking of, and stuff like that. He left the organization and moved back home, as we know, to do his business. But despite SUPADEX being home, he was still very much a part of the Dynamite Calypso tent. We could call upon SUPADEX to do anything for us from back home, and he would do it. He would say, okay, do it. I, just like all the other members of Dynamites, I'm still in a deep sense of shock, knowing that he's really gone. I spoke with SUPADEX last Thursday at length, and we had a conversation. We spoke for about 15 minutes. A very high-spirited conversation. He was telling me about all the things he's planning to do back in St. Vincent, all that he's doing. He's planning to go back into the Calypso back home. He wants to join a tent. He's asking me what tent I think he should join. I said, well, it's obvious. Which tent do you think I'm going to see? He started laughing because he said, yeah, I don't know you're going to say Anto. I said, it's obvious, Anto. So he said, yes, I'm thinking about, and even I want to be a part of the association to see if I could help them because, I know things that they could do and I would really like to help them to go places. And I said, SUPADEX, boy, you the man because, that's your spirit, I wish you could, you could do that because these guys are going to be glad. And I think, the ideas you have and your spirit are going to really help to move Calypso forward home. So, I do look forward to you, doing that. Yeah, we had that conversation last week. It's very high-spirited. We the Dynamites, we have an ongoing project, which we would be rolling out soon. SUPADEX is very much a part of that project. That I spoke with him on Thursday, and he was to send us a video. I got here to the studio 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. At 4 minutes after 2, my phone rang. It was SUPADEX. You say, Rejector, check your phone. I just sent you a video. He recorded a video. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but, he recorded a video which is going to be a part of our project. So he said, just send you the video. Check your phone. I said, okay, let me show Tom. Let me check the quality and thing, and I'll call you back and tell you. He said, good, good, good. We look at the video. Superb video. Perfect. The way he spoke, the mannerism, the quality of the video, everything was perfect. So I called him back immediately after looking at the video and said, SUPADEX, boy, you're bad enough. Him and I, we always joke. I said, SUPADEX, you're bad enough. He said, what do you mean? I said, man, I'm going to watch this video over and over and try to speak like you. I like the way you articulate and stuff like that. He started laughing. He said, don't try that, man. You bad too. We had that kind of conversation. We had a very spirited conversation on Saturday afternoon. And we looked at the video here a few times, 4 hours after we left the studio, Brother Gans called me while driving, asked me if anybody called me from home. I said, and say for what? He said, SUPADEX dead. Somebody tell him SUPADEX dead. I said, that must be a rumor, man. That must be a rumor. The man just talked to us, he just sent me the video and everything, blah, 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 blah. So, guys, okay. I said, okay, I'm going to check it out. 2 minutes after, while driving, someone else called me, telling me the same thing. SUPADEX dead. It was hard to believe. But, SUPADEX is a man who would not like to know that we are grieving over him. While I mourn inside because I'm saddened inside because I miss him a lot and he would be missed by many. I try to stay strong because I know he would love to know that we are strong, and I try to think positive, and I pray that God would accept him into a place of eternal peace. And I take this opportunity to wish his family deepest condolences from me and my family and from the rest of Dynamites. I know each guy would individually give you pay their tribute, but I want to give my condolences to his family, and I pray that God will strengthen you in this time, all his family and friends. I pray that you'll find strength in God at this time, and we would move on from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'd like to send it back to Sherry Land.
Thank you so much from the studios. We've been hearing a lot from the men. I know that there are some sisters on the call who probably would like to share. And just in order, I see Sister Laverne, who is president of the Council of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Associations. Laverne, would you like to share some thoughts? I know SUPADEX worked a lot with COSAGO. So I want to throw the mic over to you at this time.
Thank you, Sherilyn, and thank you to the organizer. Let me first begin by saying good evening to everyone on this platform this evening, and extend my heartfelt condolences to the family. I want to first do so on behalf of the Council of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Organizations, USA COSAGO. It's been a very tough time, I must tell you. Like everyone else who had spoken before, and expressed how hard it was for them to accept the news, the loss of SUPADEX. So it was for me personally, and many of us here in the Vincentian diaspora. When I got the news on Saturday when someone called me, I started doubting it. I said, no, I don't think so. That's rumors. Then eventually I started running to my phone to see if I see any trail of conversations going on within the Vincide chat. And before I opened the chat, I realized there were, I think, 20-something unread messages. And I said, oh boy, something is really going on. Had to accept. Yesterday, it was yesterday or today, I think it was yesterday. I looked at there were some pictures going around in our chat. And when I look at SUPADEX and you know, most of his pictures, he would, as if he has this signature smile. When I saw that smile, I am telling you, I just broke down in tears as if I couldn't just control my emotions. I cried. I truly cried. Very hard for us to accept in the community. But one of the things we can hold on to is his handprints that I would believe he would left with most of us as organizations in the diaspora. He have done so many work for us. The journals, banners, backdrops, all of these things we can look at and remember him, his good works. I had him do a backdrop for a lady when she was celebrating her 60th birthday party. And she too is actually looking forward to go back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And she was saying to me, she said, that backdrop, it was so well done. I'm so in love with it that I'm going to take it back home, and I have a wall in my house that I am going to hang that backdrop. So, you know, many of us could look back at it and we can talk about him, all the great things he has done for us in the community. He would be truly, truly missed. He's a man of integrity, a man of class, a man of discipline. And at the same time, I believe he was so humble. He was really a humble man. I know for us in the community, when we lose these people with so much talent, so much skills, so much to offer, the plans that they had. And I mean, even when SUPADEX was planning to go home, to return back home to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I believe, I can't remember if I called him or he called me, but he honestly gave me that respect. And I believe it was from walking alongside with him in many of the committees and organizations we work here in the diaspora, you know, from Vincide and others. And he had said to me, I am going home. I'm going back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He did not just leave me to hear that he was going home. He called me or said it to me in a conversation when we were speaking. He would be truly missed. Just as everyone said here on this platform, he would be truly, truly missed. A man that had so much to offer. You know, there are so many conversations and tributes going around on Facebook. And up to the time, as if I still can't find myself to say, rest in peace, my brother. I will get to that point. I too had just lost my mom. And yes, it might be a difference of a relationship. But, you know, sometimes we come to accept when they are a little older, much older, even though sometimes they say they're never too old for us to miss them, that is true. But even a week before my mom died, I was able to see her with technology 2-3 times a day and talk to her until I realized that, you know, she was losing her speech and she was not as strong. And I could have said to my sister, you know, call the doctor and get her to the hospital. And I grieved that. And I, you know, with time, I'm getting to accept that. But someone in so much life, so much love, that smile alone can tell his contentment deep inside, his joy coming from deep inside, his satisfaction of life coming from deep inside, coming out with this, I would say, a signature smile. That's how I would look at it. So to all of us, to all the various members of the organizations, let us keep his memory on. And I'm encouraging every one of us on this platform that many of his families would not be here with us to hear the tribute and how well we are speaking of him, and not just we are speaking of him just because. I would encourage you to keep them in your prayer, to keep his children in your prayer. Let us ask God to comfort them, to give them the strength to go on. And for all of us, I pray too that we would find the strength to carry on his legacy, and to even and get ourselves involved in some of the work that he used to do, especially the humanitarian part of it. God bless each and every one of you, and good night.
Thank you so very much, Laverne. You know, COSAGO being an umbrella body, you know, really encompasses quite a few organizations here. And I'm just looking at the folks on the Zoom tonight and recognizing how far SUPADEX's reach was. I mean, I think I am seeing at least 7 organizations that he would have been actively a part of. So I wanna take this time to really ask some of those persons who are representing organizations or who are members of organizations to speak about their experiences with him. So the first person I'd like to call on is Miss Jillian Arthur from Vinci Cares. Jillian, if you can unmute your mic, the floor is yours. Well, the Zoom screen is yours.
Thank you, Sherilyn. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, loud and clear.
I'm not gonna go on camera because I may break down, which will not be a very good sight. I met SUPADEX when I joined Vinci Cares we're in our 12th year, so about 11 years ago. He was already a member when I joined. I didn't know him before then. And as most people will know, Vinci Cares is like a family. We truly are a family. When one hurts, we all hurt. When we're happy, everybody's happy. And Dex was, well, we call him Dex, as I show many others do too. Dex was very passionate. He had a passion about him that I don't think I've ever seen anywhere else. He was passionate about the work he did. He was passionate about the organizations that he was in. He was passionate about his family, his children. He was passionate about St. Vincent. And over the years, Dex and we all became closer. We got to know each other more intimately, you know, as a group. And even though sometimes we may fight a little bit among ourselves, or disagree rather is a word rather than fight, Dex would never be the one to really hold on to it too long, at least not in I don't know about other groups, but not in our family. We would argue a little bit and then we'll move on and we'll say, okay, we agree to disagree, and that was that. When Dex was moving back home, maybe about 4 years ago, he said to me, I'm going back home to live, you know, but I will still do what I can with the organization. And I said, well, okay, at that time too, we were getting into doing more things and so on. And Dex kind of was concentrating more on getting his stuff together up here and home. He would go home ever so often to work on his buildings, his apartments, spend a couple of months, come back and go back and forth and so on. Anyway, maybe about a little over a year ago, he called me. He said, I'm getting ready to go back, you know. I said, Dex, home? Yes. I said, oh gosh, I wish I could go with you. Carry me now. He said, come now, come now. I said, boy, I can't come now. I got to wait a little bit longer and so on. It's about, if not just over a year, it's almost a year since Dex moved back home. His passion for going home, I don't know of anybody else who was so anxious and eager to get back to St. Vincent. And over the last couple of months when we went through the volcano and all with that's happening with COVID and so on, I would call Dex ever so often. I'd say, boy, what's going on in Vincy? And Dex's words to me were always, girl, Vincy, sweet. Vincy, sweet, sweet, sweet. And I was like, Dex, please. And, you know, and that kind of friendship we had kind of grew a little bit more when he went home. About a little over a week ago, I called him about doing some extra work for us on the ground, for the organization on the ground. Because he reached out to us and he felt that we were not so known in St. Vincent as we were here. And he wanted to get the ball rolling in true Dex style of organizing, of getting the ball rolling, you know, getting us known on the radio, in the newspaper, on the television and so on. And we said to him, well, we are going through elections now. So we said, as soon as we finish and the new year start, we'll get the plans together and let him be the one in the forefront in St. Vincent for Vincy Cares. So we spoke about that and so on. And he said, well, whenever you're ready, let me know. And I said, okay. I called Dex, I believe it was on Tuesday, to do something for me personally, to design something for me. And he and I, we were back and forth. And he gave me the design on Thursday. And I sent it back and I said, change this, change that, whatever. And then at the same time, I saw some other flyers for Rodney's event and for Luther's event. So I said to him, Dex, you doing all them pretty flyers for Rodney and Luther? He said, nah, man, I concentrating on the renovations for the apartments. I said, okay. He said, anyway, I'm nearly done doing and nearly done. And I said, great. I said, now you could spend some time and relax. And that was the last I spoke to Dex. That was Thursday night. Saturday, I was home doing housework, whatever. And another member of the organization called me and she said, are you sitting down? I said, no, I'm cleaning and doing laundry. She said, I said, what happened? Because you know, when somebody says to you, are you sitting down? You automatically get, oh God, something happened to somebody. So I was like, what happened? She's like, Dex dead. I said, girl, I just talked to Dex Thursday, Dex car dead. She said, yes, Dex fell off. Well, she said the roof and he died. I sat on my bed. I lied not. I sat on my bed for 3 hours and the water was just coming out my eyes. I was staring into a black TV and I just didn't know what to do. I was like, but I just talked to Dex 2 days ago. Oh, Dex could be gone. And then my phone started ringing. People started calling and texting, is it true? And I was like, yeah, I missed a little part. I picked up the phone after she told me and I said, let me call home. And I called Ezzy. Ezzy answered the phone in tears. I said, oh God, Ezzy, it's true. It's true. Ezzy said, Jill, I'm heading out there now. He said, but yes, it sounds so. And I just could not stop crying. And then I kind of said, oh my God, I have to tell the other members because I didn't want them to see it on Facebook. So I started calling the other members. I called Gary. Gary started to cry immediately. I called Michael. Michael burst into tears. Everybody was just a wreck. We could not grapple with the fact that Dex was gone. And I don't think any member from our little chat has been able to sleep. I think last night was the first night I actually got 6 hours sleep. It is just, it is, I mean, yes, we know that is inevitable. And yes, we know that is a road we all must walk. But it is very, very hard when it is something like this, when it's unexpected like this. And it's such a tragic, tragic way. Dex had a lot of potential. He had a lot of ideas, like everybody else has been saying. He always wanted to do something better. You know, we could do this, or we could do that. You know, even though sometimes the ideas we have to tweak a little bit, you know, it obviously, but he always had that initial, let's do this, that, you know, that we need to do something different. We need to take it to another level. That was always, and he was very passionate about doing things for his country and doing things for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I tell you, I don't know how or when we will ever get past this. Up to today, I kept saying to myself, Dex really gone? And I'm in touch with Luther and Ezzy a little bit. You know, I try not to overwhelm them by asking, you know, too many questions, but maybe it's my way of getting closure, because it is just hard. I'm not gonna lie, it is hard. Because you talk to somebody today, and I know some people may say, oh, they talked to him an hour or so before, and so it's equally hard for them. And it's just, I don't know how we get past this. I really don't. But I pray to God that he continues to strengthen us and strengthen us as a people and us as a nation, because this is a hard pill to swallow. It really is. I'm sorry. I think that's it is. Sharon, I don't have anything else. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing, Jillian. And you know, we completely get the emotion. I think everybody is still in a state of shock, you know. When, as I think as Laverne says, when you have some time, when somebody is sick, you know, you get some time to think of the inevitable. But when it happens so suddenly, it's like almost like we're living in a collective nightmare, and all of us probably want somebody to wake us up and say, we've been dreaming. But unfortunately, in this case, it's not. And, you know, as a community, what we have to do is definitely rally around each other. Jillian, and I know you and I were talking, and we were saying, you know, one of the things that we should learn as a community is that because life is so fragile, life is so precious, like we really need to put aside all the isms and schisms that we have amongst us, whether individually or as groups, and really come together and really just live in love and unity, you know. And that, I think, is the message that Dex always promoted. You know, that is the African way, that we live in love and unity. And I just want to encourage us as a community to take a stock and really realize that at the end of the day, you know, nothing really matters except what we do for other people and how we make other people feel.
Mute your phone if you're not speaking.
So I just want us to, you know, as a community, really take this time to reflect on, you know, the past wounds that we may have inflicted on each other, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and realize that it really isn't worth it. And we just really have to work together as a community. At this time, I want to open, am I seeing your hand, Kojo? Okay, I'm seeing your hand, you can unmute. And when you're finished, I'll go back to some of the other representatives from organizations that I recognize. You can unmute, Kojo.
Okay. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I met this brother a couple of years ago when he was trying to get into the graphics department. I wasn't even in the graphic department at that time when he was going into the graphic department because I had just started working with Scott Brothers. I don't know if anybody remembers Scott Brothers. They're the ones who produced most of the t-shirts, tourist t-shirts in St. Vincent. And because of that, he tapped into me and asked me, like back in them time, we didn't know computer. It was all black. You dry it out, you do color separation and all that kind of stuff. And so he asked me how a t-shirt, how artwork come from your artwork on a t-shirt. And so I explained to him. But, he's a smart fella, so he ended up never do t-shirt in terms like what I did, but he ended up doing graphics, which is computer graphics, which I didn't get into because I believe in doing my handwork and doing the color separation. That's when I met him. I don't remember the year I met him, but it was a lot of years ago. I think he was probably just coming out of school. I don't think anybody remember some of his artwork that he did. He had some artwork that was, I don't know how to explain it. It was not the typical artwork in St. Vincent. I'll put it in the word of abstract. It was totally abstract at the time when I met him. And, we go about and I do my graphics for Scott Brothers and everything break down and he left. I haven't seen him for a while. And then I hear him in America. I mean, the brother at the time when I talked to him, I'm telling you the truth, he was pretty young. I mean, we were both young, but he was younger than me. Let me just say that. But he was so mentally prepared for this work that a lot of people has not been. And it's not until he died, and not until he passed, I should say, that I realized the energy that he was given and the energy I was given to him. I don't know how to explain it because times when you meet someone, you don't know the energy the person has until the energy is to release. And I think the energy was released to me. And now I have to do some of his work that he didn't get to do. For anyone who wants anything done in the art department, because that's my department, if I could do it, ask me. I am willing to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kojo. Back over to Alan.
I looked apart, blending with the rest of the church crowd. I know the routine. I could list all the Bible studies in town.
Please mute your phone.
Christian TV. I know all the preachers, dear churches. Been born again. Yes, I know. Yes, without a doubt, I know I'm saved. But sometimes I hurt. Sometimes I cry.
mute your microphone on the Zoom.
Try to speak faith, never give 1 inch to the devil. I do worship and praise, let everybody know just where I stand. On the back of my ride, I've got the face of my Lord for the world to see. Yes, I know God is good all the time, there's no doubt in me. But sometimes I hurt, sometimes I cry. Lord, sometimes I can't get it right. No, no matter how hard I seem to try. Yes, sometimes I fall down. Yes, I stumble over my own mistakes. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on, but sometimes alone I cry. Yeah, Lord, 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 I wanna do right, I wanna serve you, but sometimes I can't get it right. No, 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 no matter how hard I try, help me, Jesus, get it right. You know, I cry sometimes, Lord, yeah. I hurt sometimes, Jesus. I wanna do it right, I wanna walk right. Help me, Jesus. Stumble over my own mistakes. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on, but sometimes alone I cry. Try to look strong as the whole world looks on, but sometimes alone I cry. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on, but sometimes alone I cry. Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all of the world thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout all of the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God, his Son, not sparing, sent him to die, I scarce can take it in. But on that cross, my burden to take away my sins. When Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart? Then I shall bow in humble adoration. My God, how great thou art! Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art! How great thou art! Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art! How great how great thou art! How great thou
Man.
And we'll take it here in the room right here, Sherilyn. We have another tribute out to SUPADEX.
Good night, everybody. SUPADEX is my cousin. They call me Jimmy. I was out at the spotlight for a long time. And it's because of SUPADEX, my brother Trevor, and my cousin Debbie and Carlos, and all these guys in this room. They're always doing things to help out St. Vincent, whether it's raising funds or doing other stuff. And so I come out the spotlight and I prepare some stuff for you guys. I don't see Dexter that much, but when we do see, he always come up to me and punch me. What's up, brother? How you doing, Jimmy? And we hug, and show love to each other. Saturday I was here in the studio, was preparing a project for and SUPADEX is sending his tape in, and I was happy because he made the family proud. His kids should be proud when they see and hear what he have to say. I was happy. And I was baffled by it because of what he said. He was asking us to be safe, right? And this is something I can understand. That's the love he was giving to us and everybody abroad. When they called Carlos, we just left the studio. I said, no, can't be. Are you kidding me? Somebody playing games, I still dealing with with it because I still not understanding it. What's the problem, you know? I mean, but he was a good kid. Always loving and always creating something, you know. He have a way of speaking, you know, and his beliefs. But I'm saddened by it. The family is saddened by it, and we have to cope with it, you know. But through that, we celebrate life, and we are strong. Thank you for your support and your love that you show to the family and to his kids. You got my love too. Thank you very much.
Good evening, one and all. I want to say I had the pleasure of being introduced to SUPADEX about 20-something years by a good friend, a mutual friend, Trevor Kovacs Brown. Both of them were in the graphic business. And, you know, and we met, you know, they worked together, you know, we hung out a lot back then. And I just so happened to be reunited with SUPADEX in a few Vinci organizations out here. And I must say one thing, I've seen a lot of things in that brother that I emulate, and which I'm proud of. He's very patriotic, always on a positive note, always have good things to say about St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know, during relief organizations, you know, he's always there helping, and you know, he's always back and forth to St. Vincent. I must say, just looking at what this young man has achieved at his young age, you know, having, you know, properties here in New York City and in St. Vincent tells a lot. And I must say he will be missed by all the organizations. It was a shock to me when I got the call, as you say. We were here last week, Saturday, in the studio, working on a project, and just happened to be looking at a video that he just sent us. So when I got out the studio, I mean, we had our phones off, so we couldn't get any calls while we were here. So as we left the studio, I got into my car, and I got a call from St. Vincent's asking me if I heard what happened to SUPADEX. I said, no, what are you talking about? And the person said, SUPADEX fell off a building and died. I said, nah. And, you know, I sat down there, lost, dumbfounded. You know, when people are saying, you know, in the past few years, I have a lot of close friends that, you know, has transitioned. And, you know, when people are sick, you know, you expect, you know, certain things to hear these calls. But, you know, after looking at a video that someone just sent you a few hours ago, and to get a news like that was shocking. You know, I made a call to a few of the members who had just left the studio, and I said, I hope it's false news. And it just couldn't get over it. I want to send my condolences to, you know, all his friends, you know, Ezzy, close friends, Luther, Rodney, and those guys back home in St. Vincent. His family here, you know, Scotcha, Ruby, those are the people I know who are very close to him. Ruby, that Square Deal Shippers, I think she's his aunt. And to his two kids that I, you know, who are living here. and his other family members and his friends. And may he rest in peace. Good man, he will be missed. And I know all the organizations he was involved with is going to miss him. Very patriotic guy. And rest in peace, SUPADEX.
Back over to you, Sherilyn.
Thank you, Gans, and Dex's cousin. Before we had started going through some of the organizations, and I see Verna Arthur, who is the president of the Relief USA Inc. So Verna, if you don't mind, this is the opportunity for you to share your words about SUPADEX. Verna, are you there? If not, let me move to Otis from the Vinci Day Committee.
Good night all.
Good night.
Having known SUPADEX for a number of years, when I got that message, it was a shock to me like everybody else. Just to piggyback on what Guyan said, yes, in sickness we expect certain things, and when you see something like this happen so sudden, it makes us stop and take stock as to how fleeting life is. Dex was a member of Vinci Day USA, a long-standing, tireless worker who gave his all in whatever capacity that he was needed as. Yes, he primarily was our graphic designer because he designed all the flyers and whatever things we need to put out there. But whatever job that we had to do in Vinci Day, and he was assigned a particular task, he did it with full vigor and to the best of his ability, and with all his supported. Always had a positive word to say to you. You have a conversation with Dex you could be a good hour, 2 hours, and it is all positivity. Trying to be the best person that he possibly can be. And the same like trying to help you to be a better person. Patriotic to the core, as Dan says. So from that standpoint, as chairman of Vinci Day USA, we'd like to extend our heartfelt condolences to him, to his family, his kids, friends, relatives. He will be sorely missed, throughout all the organizations that he was associated with, without a doubt. Because, once Dex was always there for everybody and everything, whatever role he played in any organization. No doubt, Dexter gave 110% commitment each and every single time. So from that stand, and me personally, we're gonna miss a dear friend of ours that we love having a conversation with. It's an onus is on us to keep his family and friends and his kids in our prayers and our thoughts, and keep them up in a positive light as best as we possibly can, given the circumstances. And that's all we can do. Support them at this given juncture. Support them, and keep them the faith and keep the love. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And, gone, but surely will not be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Otis. I know Dexter was a man of many talents, and I know back in the day, he was a model, and one of the people that he modeled with was Monique. Monique, I don't know if you want to share some of your thoughts and recollections. I know this has been a particularly difficult time for you. If you'd like to, I'd like to open the mic for you at this time.
Hi, everyone. Good night. I'm going to make this quick. As Sherilyn said, this one, I'm still in disbelief. I'm still waiting for someone to call and say it's not, you know, it's a mistake. Dex and I, we go way back from, you know, St. Martin's Bishop's College days. And then we both migrated. I think he came up like a year or a couple of months before I did. And then, you know, we hang out, we talk and stuff like that. Then he said, with Black Sugar, his little company that he started, he was doing postcards. And so he said to me one day he's like, I want you to be my model. I said, model for what? And he said, oh, for my postcards for Black Sugar. I said, boy, behave yourself. And in Dex words, he said, girl, you're sexy, you know. You know, that's Dex, right? So I said, so who's gonna take the pictures? And he said, oh, I'm gonna get a photographer. And I can't remember where we went. We took pictures with Buddha and put them on the postcards. And there was a postcard shop on Church Avenue. I can't remember the name. That's where the postcards, and I went in and I felt like a big shot, you know, a celebrity. And Dex was like the thorn in my side, as I said. He would always be, we were just good friends. We were good friends. He would bother me about things. And fast forward, the night before Dex went home, I called him and I said, Dex, my pantry is having a domestic violence event, and could you print me some flyers? He said, girl, you know I going home in the morning. I said, Dex, please. And he begged. He said, okay, after work. I said, what time you'll be home? He said, he's home. I said, I'll be done work. He said, okay, you can come over. I went over to Dex and he said, send me whatever you want. And I sent him and he said, come over. I went over and he did that flyer that night. Dex stayed up and did that flyer with me that night. We talked about so many things. Dexter was so excited, elated to go back to St. Vincent. He was elated. He couldn't wait. He couldn't, I said, Dex, are you packed? He said, pack what? He said, I don't have everything in St. Vincent. Why anything from any junk from America? Dexter fashion style. So Filani was there and, we were talking and I would say Dex is so proud. I need his kids to know that he is extremely proud of those two, Filani and Malik. So I said, how would you leave your daughter and your son here? He said, what? Them is big people that could take care of themselves. I said, but you're leaving a lot of responsibility on your kids. So Filani tuned in and she said, oh, I have all the responsibilities even when he was here. So to me, that is such good parenting. That is such good parenting that he nurtured and took the time out to teach his kids, life and how to deal with and responsibilities. And he's an exemplary friend. And I'm gonna miss Dex like crazy. I go in my inbox and I see all the, personal messages he would send in joke form and tease me and he would always say, one day I'm gonna marry you. I know one day I'm gonna marry you. And I would always brush him off. I would brush him off. But I'm telling you, this one hurts. And it will continue to hurt for a long, long time. It was too sudden, and I question God, and I question, and I'm saying there's so many people out here who are doing bad things and they're still on earth. And I'm questioning like why you took somebody's such a good person. You took a good person away from us. And I mean, people say, I believe in God, and people say God knows best. But that one is hard, very hard for me to deal with. So I'm going to say, rest in power until we meet again. And please don't blow through my house. Just rest. All right? Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Monique. At this time, I want to open the floor to Terry. I know I spoke with you earlier. You also are struggling with this, but I want to give you the opportunity now to offer your words of recollection and remembrance of SUPADEX. Terrence Edwards. All right. I want to circle back to Verna. Verna, are you able to speak?
Sharon, if can I bring one thing to your attention, please? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, Keisha Slater is on. She said her number, her last 4 digits is 6063. So when you're ready, if you could please recognize her. She's from the K&S R&K promotion. She like to do a tribute. 6063, her last 4 digits. Thank you.
063. Okay, I'm seeing that.
Just want to bring it to your attention.
I'll unmute her now. All right, Keisha.
Yes.
I'm trying. Keisha, you can go ahead.
Hi, good night, everyone. This death, I always thought like losing my mom would have been the hardest death for me. But when I woke up on Saturday, well, SUPADEX and I, we speak every day. And we have a chat group where in the night we spend like 3-4 hours, him, myself, and 2 other members. And he called me in the morning. I was supposed to do something for him Saturday morning. And then I fell asleep in the evening and woke up to a missed call from him. And when I called him back, I heard the guy who answered was like, are you his small sister? And I was like, who is this? And then he introduced himself as his corporal, whatever. And he needed to speak to a family member. So I was like, why is the police answering SUPADEX phone? So I end up and reach out to family member. It's funny, I'm most of the time I'll be on Facebook. On Saturday, I wasn't on at all. And then when the news rallied back, it was that Dexter fell and died. And I haven't slept yet. I never missed work. I had to call out of work because I haven't slept and we can't eat. Dexter was one of the persons who molded us. KNR promotion really came from the initial Ralo and myself. We started this promotion first as a bus ride going to Vincere. Then we launched off to do like fundraising, especially for my school, Clay Valley Government School, where Dexter did T-shirts and we did like to fundraising to sell T-shirts, tickets when we have barbecues and so on. Like Luther said earlier, Dexter was on a mission for some strange reason. I would say the last 2 weeks, he didn't know, but the last 2 weeks, Dexter was doing some stuff that now he's gone and I look back, it's like, did he even know? Because he was preparing us to do so much stuff. Like Luther was saying with the meat stuff, he was driving this vegan stuff on us not to eat meat and so on. And in his death, he kind of brought back some persons so important in our lives like Dianza, his niece in Barbados. He has like us like reaching out to like loads of them who I don't even know how they're doing now because even like when we call, everybody tries to be strong for each other, but by the time you get off the phone, everybody just start breaking down. One thing I think we have learned from Dexter is that no matter what happened, he was big on forgiveness and he was big on love. And I think if it's one thing we can take away from his death, although we can't come to terms of it yet, is to try to live the best life we can, most positive we can for him as the way of going forward in remembrance of him. At this moment, I can't say much because as I'm speaking, it's like I start breaking down again. I just want to say to Fulani and his son and everybody, the family members, Ezzy Luther, everybody, my condolences, and let us all remember Dexter's memory. And Dex, bro, wherever you are, rise in power. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Keisha. And I strongly support your sentiments, in terms of us really stressing forgiveness. It's so important. I posted on Facebook just this week that forgiveness is probably one of the greatest acts of love that any person could demonstrate. And forgiveness is not only just for the people that you're forgiving, but it's also for you. And so I think as we think of Dex and we remember him and, we start doing soul searching and really thinking about life and the meaning of life, we really should reach out to somebody or somebodies that we haven't spoken to, that we may have crossed paths with, and really try to make amends and try to see how as a community we can live a much stronger life. One of the things that Dexter could teach all of us, one of his best friends was Gobels. And anybody that understands and knows politics knows that Gobels is a staunch supporter of the NDP and Dex a staunch supporter of the Unity Labour Party, but that never, ever came in between them and the love that they shared. And I think that is something that as a people we could definitely take away as a lesson, that regardless of our ideas, regardless of our affiliations and the things that we believe daily in, it should never come between us as a people. And moving forward, that would be one of the greatest ways to honor and cherish the memory and legacy of SUPADEX. At this time, I want to open the floor. Rachel, I know you're on the call. I wanted to know if you would like the opportunity. Okay.
If you're not speaking, please mute your phone.
Rachel, would you like to speak at this time?
You're not on. You're muted.
We can hear you.
What is this?
I'm trying to figure out who I need to mute, but I'm not seeing. All right, so let me just open it up for anyone that wants to give a tribute at this time. Just raise your hand, either using the emoji on the Zoom, or you can physically put your hand on and put your camera on. Okay, I see Verna's hand now. Verna, I give the floor to you. Verna, you can go ahead. I see your hand. Verna, you're unmuted. You can go ahead. I'm seeing your hand. All right.
All right, Sherilyn, I'll take it away.
Difficulties. Thank you, Alan.
All right, hang on. Let's get the man age. Go right ahead, buddy.
Yeah. As a member of the Dynamite Calypso tent, I was blessed to meet SUPADEX. These were my first experiences with the brother came about as a member of the tent. Remembering SUPADEX, I remember the qualities that stand out, like leadership, passion, and service. A great man once said, the greatest among us are the people who serve. That is why SUPADEX is remembered by so many people. Every organization that he was a part of benefited from his leadership or service because he was that kind of person. As a leader, he didn't even care if you agree with his ideas because he was a guy who was straightforward when he puts out his plans or ideas. Who want to disagree is up to them. You know, he never bothered about who disagree with him. He would tell you as it is. And those are the things I really kind of remember him for. Another thing I remember him for is that he used to always say, Age, I is one of your biggest fans, you know. I don't know how you just be coming up with them kind of songs. I used to be telling him, you trying to mama guy me? Used to be saying, Age, it's hard to mama guy a man like you. I can't believe every year. But it's not all about me, it's SUPADEX. Some people get the right kind of nickname, SUPADEX. And the man was really super. When I think about the things that he did, he involved in, he was an avid businessman, a talented graphic artist, and a very good calypsonian. Almost anything he put his hands to, you know, he succeeded. And the lesson that we should learn from SUPADEX is that you could be anything you want to be. And he really proved that. So, SUPADEX, from the manage, rest in peace. I pray that God's perpetual light will shine on you. Thank you for your contribution, brother.
Hear me? All right, good night, everyone. Before I give my tribute to SUPADEX, I'd just like to give also my tribute to another mentor, former Prime Minister Sir James Mitchell, one of my mentors in life in my leadership roles in St. Vincent and Grenadines. My condolences to his family, also and the entire nation of St. Vincent and Grenadines. I don't think I can say much anything different than what everybody else is saying about SUPADEX, you know. I met SUPADEX very long time in St. Vincent, and then meet him back here in the USA. And we sat on a number of organizations here. He's a very patriotic guy, very strong-headed, very self-righteous guy. He stands for what he believes in, and I like that about him. We always have some fierce back and forth in meetings, which we both enjoy, and then we come out of meetings and then we laugh after, you know, which is for the betterment of the groups. So all the groups that I sat with him will be better off from his contribution that he has made. He has made some significant contributions to the groups. Whenever we have flyers to do, be it with Standard Shippers, the kids' Christmas party, he do the flyers every year free of cost. be it Bishop's College, Kavusa, Diaspora, whatever group, Dynamites, all those groups that we shared. He did everything free of cost for his love for the country. And he have a strong political conviction. He believe in certain political views which he argue immensely about. His spiritual views and his connection to the motherland, Africa, also. He have a deep connection there. I used to call at one time, sometimes I say Kunta Kinte. That's one of the nicknames I refer to him as. But he was passionate in everything, you know what I mean? I was, like Luther said before too, he always tried to convince you to eat differently and drink differently and stuff like that. And I tell him, boy, if it's one thing I can't get me to do is stop eat pork. So stop trying. And even in that SUPADEX, you still can't get me stop eat pork. So quit trying still. But he always like that life, and he never get influenced by peer pressure. You're lineman with SUPADEX and everybody drinking, and he just have a bottle of water. SUPADEX take one now. No. SUPADEX, nah. You crazy? No. And like say like moving back home was such a joy, when he post pictures and we meet in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and he had mango and thing, and he telling me that he chicken and that he this and that. He calling every fruit something where I eating and meat, and he enjoying himself with coconut water and all of that. We had some good times back home. I think as recently as this year, we met on few occasions, and we hang out. When I got the news on Saturday, I was at work and I was in driving, and then I had to pull over because my body went numb. And I said, nah, it's not that can't be true, as Trump say, fake news. So I said, let me make 2 calls in St. Vincent that I think that should know. But apparently the news spread to the US before it really spread around in St. Vincent. So we got the news more quicker than some folks back home. SUPADEX formed a good bond with everyone that he came in contact with, and you had to learn something from him. You can't be mad at SUPADEX, you can't be vexed with SUPADEX, He always tried to teach something, whether it's in business, whether it's for the love for the country, whatever it is, like I said, spiritual, it doesn't matter. And all the groups that he worked with here in the diaspora and the folks that he worked with back home, we have lost a real good one. We have lost one of the, like a few patriots. This is a very, very, very patriotic guy. It has some want to be patriots. It has some guys just in it for something. SUPADEX was in it wholeheartedly. And for those kind of things, I respect him. And I respect him even in death. And like the others pledge, I will do my best in every way to continue his legacy in whatever shape or whatever fashion. I know he gonna be looking down on us. He gone to meet the ancestors. He gone to meet some of the greats that went on before. It's just like, so 2021, I don't know if we could take any more. I lost a lot of good folks in 2021. It's been an extremely hard year for me, and like continue to be like that. So on behalf of all the other groups which I serve in, who has not spoken yet, we extend condolences to his kids, and by extension the Calypso fraternity, the graphics fraternity, Ezzy, I know you deeply hurt, Luther, Rodney Smalls, Bumani, and the entire crew down there. I know you guys were doing some great jobs in the relief effort and thing. Continue doing that. I think he will love that. When I saw SUPADEX took the vaccine, I said, well, if SUPADEX take the vaccine, well, everybody should take it, because of his beliefs and stuff like that. And I'm glad that you guys went out with a caravan. I know he was happy with that kind of vaccine outreach. So I hope you guys continue to do that kind of work down there, and like I say, I'm here, you know, to assist and help carry on his legacy here on. So, you know, it's very hard and for everyone, and it's very hard. Still trying to come to grips. Like everybody say, we just hope it's a dream, but it's reality, and this is something that we just gotta live with and accept it. And SUPADEX would want us to really go forward in life and continue to do the best, especially for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you.
Back to you, Charlene.
Thank you, Atiba. We're going to try to bring in Verna, but I just want to pick up on something that Atiba talked about SUPADEX's passion. And I think people outside of the Vincentian community, if you don't understand how Vincentian meetings operate, you might get scared. I remember a few years ago, CAVUSA, which is one of the organizations affiliated with the Diaspora Committee, used to meet at the college where I work. And they would have very spirited meetings. And this one day I was not at the office, and I received a call from one of my coworkers who is Panamanian. And he was in complete panic mode. He was like, Miss Mason, I don't know what to do. Should I call security? The people over there, they're arguing, they're carrying on. And I don't know what to do, because I think somebody going to pick up a chair just now and throw it at one another, because their voices, they raised and they're just shouting and screaming at each other. And while he's having the conversation, I say, it's okay, that's just Vincy banter. Don't worry, they're going to be fine. And while I'm trying to calm him down, he's like, but Miss Mason, they're over there eating now, and they're laughing, and they I don't understand. He was just so very confused. And when he pointed out one of the people that was passionately, you know, he described, one of the people that was passionately carrying on the conversation was SUPADEX. And we knew that was how SUPADEX was. He was very passionate about his positions. It was, you know, you would almost think that you could be coming to blows, but that was not his intention. It was that he was conveying his point very strongly because he was passionate about things. And so, you know, we're gonna miss that energy, because we definitely need people in our community who are passionate about our country, passionate about the work. And so I want to encourage us to keep that same spirit, not to get close to what others may think is blows, but the spirit and the energy for the work. I'm going to try to see if I can bring Verna back in. I know she's having some technical difficulties. Verna, I'm going to try. You can try to unmute yourself, or I'll try to unmute you.
Okay, Charlene, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, sorry about that. I was in a different frame of mind. I just want to extend condolences on behalf of Club St. Vincent Incorporated. SUPADEX, to SUPADEX family and friends. SUPADEX was one of the organization's top male model for our cultural exposition. I will call upon him, and there was no hesitation. I'll see him, I said, you know, you're going to model, yeah? All he does is laugh, and we know he will show up. Always there support, always there when we need our flyers and invitations and what have you for the organization. SUPADEX was doing something personally for me in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And sometimes I tend to procrastinate in things from my personal life as opposed to organizations. And I keep putting it off. And I said, this is the week that I'm going to call SUPADEX. And lo and behold, I did not get to talk to him because I procrastinated. And I cannot tell you how that made me feel. Sunday, I felt like I was just spinning around like a top. I didn't even get to do what I got to do until late in the evening, but because of SUPADEX. May he rest in peace. He's in a good place. And I know he's going to be creating ruckus when he meets all those cultural folks, wherever they are. Charlene, I tried putting something in the chat. There was a little error, so please disregard. Thank you again on behalf of Club St. Vincent Incorporated and myself.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Verna. At this time, I see Ivan Morgan, who is president of SAMPASA, which is the St. Martin's Past Students Association. SUPADEX, of course, was a student of St. Martin's, and I know many of his friendships, his very deep friendships, were forged at St. Martin's. So I want to ask Ivan at this time if you would like to share some words.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for being late. We had a meeting earlier tonight to discuss a planned event. We having in December 11th, we were contemplating canceling the event or postponing it. And, our members decide this is what SUPADEX would want. They want us to continue because we are doing work for the student of St. Martin Secondary School. On November 11th, I got a call 7 o'clock in the morning from SUPADEX. He was apologizing to me that he hadn't returned a call earlier. And he just wanted to reinforce to me the work that we were doing for the students of St. Martin Secondary School and for the kids of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And, he said, just keep pushing. He said, continue to do what you're doing, take your time, plan your events out and follow through. We spent over an hour on the phone talking about, the things and some of the plans we had for St. Vincent. And that's exactly who SUPADEX was. We went to St. Martin in the 80s together. He was a sharp dresser. We had names for him in high school, the white shoe posse, because that's the way he came to school, dressed to the nines, sleeves rolled up, shirt tucked in, and just smooth as ever. He was always there when we called upon him for anything. St. Vincent first, Africa first, having a proper diet, eating the right things. When we hung out, he and I were the only ones who didn't drink in our crew. I'm a practicing Muslim. He was all about Africa and keeping his body in tune with the ancestors. He spoke a lot about that, the ancestors, doing things for the motherland. When I got the news, I was heartbroken. My wife was heartbroken. She went to grammar school with him at a later date. And, our organization, we got together Sunday night just to, be there for each other, and we talked and we cried. Sunday morning, we had a scheduled service to celebrate the 60th anniversary for St. Martin Secondary School. And we reached out to Mount Olive Baptist Church in Virginia, and we asked them, can you include in your service, a little prayer for our brother who had passed on? And they did an amazing job under the short span of time. We laughed about it because the Reverend, he mentioned Franklyn SUPADEX Richards, and he had to go over the second time. And for us, it was just funny hearing a preacher mention him by his nickname in church. We laughed about it, but he left a legacy that a lot of us here, we're doing the same things. And we have to remember to keep doing what we're doing. From the first to the first to the 41st person on this call, we are all working to make things better for our communities, especially our country. He would want us to continue working together to make things better. We are just hoping and we are waiting for individuals to reach out to us to see how we can be part of that celebration of sending him home. We're here for any organization who need our assistance or help, want to work with us to do something special for him and continue the work that he has been doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ivan. I think you're definitely onto something that I know a couple of the leaders of the organizations have already started to articulate, that we have to do something that's, tantamount to a really huge celebration of life for SUPADEX. So that I'm sure we will figure out in the coming weeks how to pull that together so that we can remember the brother. Alison, I'm seeing your hand. You can unmute. Alison, you can go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I want to thank the persons responsible for this therapeutic forum that is well needed in based on what just happened. This is needed for the people who are hurting and an outlet for us to speak about SUPADEX. On behalf of the Emmanuel High School, Kingston, I want to convey our condolences to SUPADEX family and friends. He has done a lot of work for us through Go Bells with Glenroy Phillips, Go Bells. Like we know people more by their nicknames than their real name. But through Go Bells, he has done in a short group that we formed, he has done so many graphic work for us. Go Bells, I know at this time cannot be here because he is really broken up, shaken up. He was home just recently and spent like 10 days, with SUPADEX. So what can we say about SUPADEX that everyone is echoing? And I'm just going to keep it short and sweet, is that we can say that SUPADEX is a quiet, gentle giant. He is a stalwart in our community, a pillar to our community. And so those big shoes, he's a big man, that he left, they are big shoes to fill. And I hope that, and I know that we have people who can aspire and learn from him, and hope that we will continue and follow the heart of this person that we want to say gone too soon, but sometimes it's not how long you are here, but what you have done while you were here. And so in the short space of time that he was here, he left a legacy. And so I just want to say again, condolences to his family. We know we will all miss him, and his work, not only for his work, but the heart of the person. So again, on behalf of the Emmanuel High School Kingston, I want to convey my condolences to everyone. Good night. Thanks.
Thank you so very much, Alison. There are people in our community who, when they depart, they leave a significant void in our community. And, it will take several people to fill their shoes. So I think there's more than enough people in the community that can help to fill the big shoes that Alison says that SUPADEX has left. One of those people who left us recently would have been Soka Jones, another of those people. And I see his sister on the call. I want to give Sharon the opportunity to speak at this time. Sharon, unmute yourself.
Caroline.
Yes, we can hear you. All right.
I'm going to turn on my video. This is, thank you. I sat here contemplating whether to do this or not, as in to speak, but I know had I not done it, that person who's looking down at me from above would be very disappointed. And I am like everyone else, total shock. Dex became a brother to me, as I said on Facebook on Saturday, as a result of his brotherhood with my brother Junior and with Noli. And we had some good times. We had some great times. And the 14 months that I just spent in St. Vincent, a lot of times I ran into Dex and we just had great conversations, great memories. And there's this one topic that he always brought to me because he, like my brother, was determined for something to happen and happen again. And we laughed about it all the time. And as folks have said earlier, it's one thing if someone is sick and you're expecting death. And even then it's hard. But to have no expectation of it at all and receive a call that he has fallen and he has died, it's just complete shock. And I'm not gonna say that this is like my brother's death, but it's very close to, because Dex and I were very close. Many times there are relationships that people have, and the public does not know what those relationships are. And as I listen to everyone tonight, there's so many of us that had these personal relationships with Dex that each of us weren't aware of. And I remember our days. Dex was one of the guys or persons who was instrumental in me joining Vinci Cares. And we had a good run there. We worked well together. We had good laughs. We had very spirited meetings. And Dex, when he spoke, you had to listen because he was going to make his point. And tonight, on behalf of my brother and I, who he has been there for since May 8th, 2020, to his family and friends, we offer our condolences. On behalf of Solid Band, who he graced the stage with us so many times singing with Scorcher, we offer our condolences. We have lost a hero. We have lost a patriot. We have lost a brother. We've lost a friend. We've lost the son of the soil. We have lost an amazing Vincentian. And I just cannot imagine him and Junior up there and the mischief they're going to get into together. And I want to offer condolences to his kids. And I want to point out tonight Scorcher and Ruby, who were very near and dear to him, and who he was very near and dear to. And the rest of the family, the rest of Vincentians, the Vincentian organizations that he was a part of, and Vincentian community on a whole. We have learned a lot from him, and it's up to each of us to figure out how we continue his legacy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Is there anyone else who would like to offer? We're just at 10:30 at this time. We do have another hour that we can go. Our gracious host has said we can go up until 11:30. So is there anyone else that would like to share at this time? If not, Alan, I could throw it over to you to give us a selection.
Absolutely. Thank you. Celebrating the life of a man among men. SUPADEX.
As the whole world looks on, but sometimes alone I cry. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on, but sometimes alone I cry. Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all of the world thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout all of the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee.
Once again tonight we celebrate the life
Thou art,
of a gentleman,
how great thou art.
a man among men,
Then sings my
a man known as SUPADEX. Someone asked, how did he get that name?
Redeem, how I love to proclaim.
Anyone can share.
Redeem.
How did SUPADEX get that name?
Redeemed through his infinite mercy. His child and forever I am. Redeemed, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Redeemed, his child and forever I am. Redeemed, I'm so happy in Jesus. No language my rapture can tell. I know.
I just want to go back to the Zoom, Sherry-Lan, and see if anyone else would like to pay tribute. Just one more time. Anyone on the Zoom would like to pay tribute?
I think I'm seeing Jeff. Jeff, are you putting up your hand?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I just want to, give my condolences out to his family. I really don't know his family. I got to know SUPADEX maybe about 6 years ago. I believe it was about 2015, I believe, when St. Vincent soccer team was playing United States in Missouri. I wanted to get some tickets to go and support the Vincentian team. And I ran into SUPADEX because I believe he was involved in the organization. And I told him, if he could get me some tickets to go there, at least 2 tickets, because a friend of mine also wanted to go. He said, I will make sure that you get those tickets. And he did. So I just want to say it was a total shock to me. And another time, we had something in our church right after Vincent Day. We normally have International Day. And the Vincential section will do their thing for St. Vincent. And I wanted to get something made of all the former prime ministers of St. Vincent. And I think I reached out to Gans, I believe, and Gans told me SUPADEX could do a flyer for Sir James. And may his soul rest in peace. And yes, he came before me, made a flyer for me. And ever since that, he was a friend of mine on Facebook. And every time we meet, we will have a chat. And personally, I did not even know he was in St. Vincent because, with electronics now, if I put something on Facebook, you will make a comment, etc. And I think it was last Saturday when a friend of mine, Phil Stewart, called me and said, Jeff, I have bad news. Or sad news. I said, Sir James gone? He said, no, not Sir James, because he also is very close with Sir James. And he even mentioned to me that he don't even think Sir James is going to make it to the end of the month. I said, are you serious? He said, yes, it's that bad. But he said SUPADEX fell off a building in St. Vincent. I said, St. Vincent? I said, I never knew SUPADEX was in St. Vincent. And then a niece of mine from St. Vincent called, and she saw everybody's putting up things in New York about SUPADEX. And I said, well, I know he's here, or he were here. He said SUPADEX was down there during the volcano with those guys cleaning up, etc. But he came back to New York. I said, well, I have to make a call. And that's when I called Sherian to make sure that, before I start spreading news, because, when Social had passed, they had rumors before Social passed that he was dead. And I did not want to pass out any false rumor. That's when I called you to verify that it actually happened. And I tell you, I was really, really shocked to know, this guy, every time I see this guy somewhere, he's involved in giving back to St. Vincent. So I just want to, share my little knowledge of what I met, know of him for the last, 5 years when I met him, that he was always involved in something for St. Vincent. And, I always remember that little beard. I even said to my wife a couple of days ago, he always had a little goatee beard. And I will always remember that beard and a little smile on his face. So to his family and friends, may his soul rest in peace. And I thank Alan for putting this thing out today. A truly man that deserves, a son of the soil, deserves all his tributes that he's been getting tonight. So, like I said, may his soul rest in peace, and my condolences to his family and all of his friends. Thank you, Sherian.
Thank you, Jeff. Joanne, I saw you on the screen. Did you want to share some thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I wasn't planning on saying anything, but like Sharon said, if I don't say anything, I don't think the Most High will be happy with me. You know, I known SUPADEX for more than a decade. We have worked on various projects together from backgrounds for Casago, flyers, I mean, you name it, he have done it, journals. Um, when I got the call like everybody else, I was in total shock. And I asked myself, how many deaths could the Vincentian community bear here in the diaspora? But I mean, SUPADEX, like most of you have said, was a true Vincentian patriot. I mean, everything for him was Vinci. He have made his contribution. He have done a lot of work free of charge for Vincentians. He would put his input in wherever he can. He would try to mentor. He would give you advice. I remember, not too long ago, about 3-4 years ago, both of us, we worked in the Zion Hill group as advisors to the group. And like you guys said, he's a guy who is very passionate when it comes to his beliefs and his whatever contribution he wants to make. And he will be truly missed. I just pray that this is the end of the street. How much more could we take? Yeah, I just want to send condolences out to his immediate family, his children. This was so sudden that, it's hard for many of us to bear. So, it's tough. I've known him for so long. I mean, we all work together. You meet him anywhere, he greet you, he hug you, take a picture with you. And like someone else said, he don't keep malice. If you have a disagreement, when you walk into him, he still give you that big smile, and he'll be truly missed.
Thank you, Joanne. Alan, there are some folks that are in the Facebook chat, and quite a few people are following there. I think we have over 100 at some point, 190 people that were following on Facebook. So I know Ezzy Roberts, one of SUPADEX's best friends, he's actually there and commenting on how difficult it is for him at this time. So Ezzy, we just want you to know that we are sending positive energy your way and holding you up, in positive thoughts and prayer. Just know that the Vincentian community will rally around, and hopefully, we will be in this for the long haul, supporting each other. At some point in time, I did see Rodney Small on the call. I'm not sure if he's still on. Maybe not. Okay, so Lively was also one of our Calypsonians and who would have been a part of the Dynamite Calypso 10. The mic is yours.
Okay. I want to say a pleasant good night to each and everyone, and I want to give my condolence to all of us. I can't even say family because SUPADEX was a kind of person who, him and everybody's friend. Whether you just don't argue with SUPADEX, yes or no. And I really got to know SUPADEX when he was living somewhere out in New Cork or somewhere out in that area. One night, we had a posse at that time, and then Soka Jones say, the Rastaman will just back up Scotch. He said, I never know no Rastaman. He said, man, SUPADEX I got a party tonight, Malago. That's the way we used to move. We used to crash everything. So we go by SUPADEX, and when I go there, I met SUPADEX, introduce myself. From that, SUPADEX and I come like we're inseparable because he had bought a house across some square deal. and he has a brother named Corey. And Corey and I good friends too. And then I get to meet his kids, Malik and his daughter. So one day, he said, Lively, a pipe bust in the basement and a pipe bust in the basement. That time I used to own a house. So I said, boy, this is what we're going to do. He said, boy, me no know now. So we went down there and we kind of get it kind of thing up in a kind of way. But apart from that, it's like SUPADEX and I just had this bond. When I made, I think it was Tech That, one of them. Yeah, Tech That. I said, SUPADEX, more launch this thing, you know. You say, yeah, man, you could do it by me. Do it by me. You don't have to give me no money. Do it by me. So I knew there and then that SUPADEX and I was just, I don't know. It was a kind of band that we just had. Well, lately since I was on Facebook doing my stuff, it's too personal. I always get up in the morning and look forward for a response from it's SUPADEX and All in Richards. And the SUPADEX always be ponging me. But one day I think there was a bingo up in Friends of Crown Heights. He said, Lively, me not gonna ride there now. He said, man, you're not must get a job home. Where tell me that for a while ago? And I drove with SUPADEX, I dropped him home. And in that journey, SUPADEX said, boy, Lively, is one thing I respect the friendship between us, you know. He said we go nag, you know, but we never disrespect one another. He said, let me keep it that way. And I usually used to call SUPADEX now and again in St. Vincent, because I really didn't have a number in St. I had a number, but I guess it wasn't working. So I used to call him a messenger. And there is not a time I call SUPADEX and he would not. Sometimes the signal just go on us, and that was the end of the conversation. But like everybody else says, we know that he believes strongly in his ancestors. Him and I had a long conversation over that part. Because when he said, so why you not tell me when such and such going to happen if you think you're such a prophet? I say, you say you believe in your ancestors, and let me prophesy where God is prophesy. But apart from that, I just want to extend my condolence to his family and to everybody else. Let's just be of good courage, and God will straighten our heart. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Do we have anyone else that would like to offer any tributes at this time or recollections? All right. Alan, I think we can take some music.
All right. SUPADEX, No Rain. You sung like Scotch there.
There was a nice celebration, but for one thing, I see did happen. Was nice to see so many nations, all in one place, all at one time, drinking rum and partying, showing that they're real, moving it to no one else but themselves, jumping up, drinking rum, when all of a sudden rain started coming down, so quick to the ground, lightning and thunder, try to stop the show, but we having fun now, we drinking rum and we showing that we are one. No rain at all could stop the celebration, no, the show must go on till the break of dawn. The show must go on.
The show must go on. No Rain. SUPADEX. He will be missed by many.
It was 1 year we wait for this moment. When the rain dry, it's best to stop we. If yeah and credit some Mr. Rent, When I look up any hole, couldn't see a thing. Lord, that's when my blood run cold. A chimbling, things flying.
Blood a horn for SUPADEX.
Started coming down, so quick to the ground. Lightning and thunder, trying to stop the show. But we having fun now, we drinking rum and we showing that we are one. No, we're not trying to stop the celebration. No, no, the show must go on till the break of dawn. The show must go on, whether rain or sun. I say. Perfection for the first time last July. We started the show with precision, so the downfall make it men cry. Yes, we didn't cause a France and slam out the door. Where we found all the patience, me and no. We sit down, we had fun, also with the dancing. Started coming down, so quick to the ground. Lightning and thunder, try to stop the show. But we having fun now, we drinking rum and we showing that we are one. No way not all could stop the celebration. No, no, the show must go on till the break of dawn. The show must go on, whether rain or sun. I say. The wetter the better. More rain, more rain. 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 It's a natural wet bed. It's a natural wet bed. It's a natural wet bed. It's a natural wet bed.
Back to you, Sherilyn.
Thank you, thank you. He really did embrace Scorcher in that particular song. And Scorcher, we know, was someone that he really looked up to. Scorcher was his uncle, but in many ways he considered Scorcher a mentor and a father. And I know at this time, you know, it must be really very difficult on Scorcher and his, you know, and his family at this time. We want to open it up. Anyone else? We're now at 9 minutes to 11 here in New York, but it's 9 minutes to 12 in St. Vincent. So it's almost tomorrow in St. Vincent. So we probably will wrap it up soon if we don't have any more tributes or any more persons that want to offer any words at this time. I think most people have done so.
Yep.
Is there anyone else? I'm not.
All right.
Any hands or anything like that, Alan?
Nope. All right, so folks.
To the end.
Yep. So folks, on behalf of the San Souci Studios, on behalf of Vincy Cares, and all of the organizations that SUPADEX, Dynamite Tent, all of the different organizations that he was involved with, we thank you. We thank you so much for coming out tonight, spending the night with us as we pay tribute to a gentleman, a true, true gentleman, one that we can be proud of, all right? And again, Sherilyn, I thank you so much, girl. Thank you so much for helping me out.
Most welcome. You're most welcome. In these times, we have to pull together and do whatever we can to.
Absolutely.
My absolute pleasure to assist.
Well, thank you so much. On behalf of the boys in the studio, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging with the. Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for coming in. There they are. There is the crowd. So on behalf of everyone, again, I say a big thanks, all right? And I'll see you guys. My regular Facebook program will be back tomorrow night. And I thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Cheryl Ann. Thank you, all of Zoom.
This was wonderful, Alan.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
This was definitely needed. So I think you filled a very important voice tonight.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. Help us to forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. Help us to forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Good night.
I looked apart, blending with the rest of the church crowd. I know the routine. I could list all the Bible studies in town. I watch Christian TV. I know all the preachers, their churches. Been born again. Yes, I know. Yes, without a doubt, I know I'm saved. But sometimes I hurt. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I can't get it right. No matter how hard I seem to try. Sometimes I fall down, stumble over my own mistakes. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on, but sometimes alone I cry. Try to speak faith, never give 1 inch to the devil. I do worship and praise, let everybody know just where I stand. On the back of my ride, I've got the face of my Lord for the world to see. Yes, I know God is good all the time, there's no doubt in me. But sometimes I hurt, sometimes I cry. Lord, sometimes I can't get it right. No matter how hard I seem to try. my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all of the world thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout all of the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God, his Son, not sparing, sent him to die, I scarce can take it in. But on that cross, my burdens gladly buried. He bled and died to take away my sins. When Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart? Then I shall bow